has her own life, has been through her own things.
Everyone's
their own. Yeah, you can. Yeah. You want.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grimm. We're about to see Dr. Phil go in on a couple of young people that haven't been the best of parents, and he's about to set them straight. Keep watching until the very end to see just how bad these two are at raising their kid. Dr. Phil actually says something to them that I've never heard him say to anyone else on this show ever. So without further ado, let's just meet the grandma who wrote into the show originally to get help for her grandkid.
Okay, let's just get right to this. And thank y'all for moving this forward, taking the initiative here.
Yeah, you know it's a bad situation when Dr. Phil, right out of the gate, thanks the person for writing to him with their story. I mean, this situation is at such a bad point that this grandma might have to try to get custody of her own grandson just because her son and his ex-girlfriend don't seem to care for this kid at all after having him, and would rather just fight and be terrible people in general than actually raise him. It's a sad thing to see, so it's good that this grandma had the idea to, write into the show, so she should hopefully get the help that she needs today.
Let's say you just, in the middle of the night, you just moved away with no forwarding address. What would happen the next day?
I honestly don't know.
This son is so reliant on his mother's help that he has basically pawned off all responsibility to his mom so that he can continue to be immature and live his life as if he didn't have a kid, even though he has excuses saying that, he just needs more time to take care of his kid and that he's going through school and work. I feel like this happens a lot with young adults. They aren't mature at all and they have other problems in their life that they're dealing with, so they just give their baby to their parents to babysit all the time and have the grandparents take care of it, like try to forget that they even are a parent in the first place. And it's actually disgusting to see, so I'm really glad that this guy and his ex are about to be exposed for it on today's show.
What would happen? I mean, you're not there to...
CPS would take them.
You think they would actually...
Absolutely.
You think they would actually default and let this child go?
Absolutely.
Wow, in the grandmother's own eyes, she feels that if she was taken out of the picture and they no longer had her as a crutch to depend on for practically raising this baby most of the time, they would just let this kid go into the system and into foster care and have CPS take care of him instead. Not sure what's going on with these two, but that is terrible, dude. They do not deserve to be parents if they care about this kid so little.
You two have a beautiful child.
Thank you.
You really, really have a beautiful child. Why aren't you raising it?
What?
Dang, dude, the couple is now on stage and Dr. Phil is wasting absolutely no time when it comes to these two. He's calling them out right away, and that's awesome because they definitely deserve it based off what we've heard. Of course, the son goes to the default here that he probably tells his mom and just about everyone else in his life to avoid having to, explain why he's an absent parent and all. And that's because he has his job in night school and life is simply too difficult to raise this boy, which is total BS because everyone else in the world can juggle all of that and still be a parent, so can you. I mean, you just don't want to, but that's the honest truth that you don't want to admit.
What's more important to you than raising your child? And it's going to work and night school.
That's your opinion right there.
Wow, and the kid is already talking back to Dr. Phil. That's not his opinion, bro. You literally just use that as your main excuses for why you're not keeping your own child a priority in your life. So you can't really state that all as fact and then twist it when Dr. Phil uses your own words on you and against you and say that they are your opinion, all right? That's just not gonna fly on this show, okay? The doc is gonna see right through that.
You work full-time?
I work full-time, unfortunately, but I would love to have Harlan more than I'm able to.
All right, and to be honest, after seeing this mom, this is starting to make a lot more sense as well. It's pretty clear that she's kind of off, there's something weird about her on stage right now. She's kind of got those tweakerish eyes in full force, so I mean, that's probably what she means by work when she's talking about what's distracting her from being a parent, if you catch my drift. This is just a terrible, messy situation all around. Dr. Phil better start getting to the bottom of this, dude, or else this grandmother might have to just bear the full burden of raising this child, which is pretty messed up to put on her, but she said she's prepared to do it if her kid is not willing to,
Trying to get all the facts on the
I'll
table.
go ahead and quit school, and then I'll quit working, and I'll just watch him 24/7. That way I can give all my attention on him, which is fine with me.
Oh, and then this little man-child over here is getting all insecure that he's getting called out, so he just starts going with the argument of, hey, well, at that point, I might as well give my life away to this kid and just watch him 24/7 so that I can finally be a good parent in your eyes. Like, dude, you're taking this the entire wrong way, okay? I'm sure you do have a ton of stuff on your plate and you're tired and stressed out. But like I said earlier, there's parents out there that grind harder than you and have even less time to themselves, and they're still stellar parents. You can focus on your child if you want to, but you simply don't want to. So don't get all insecure when Dr. Phil calls you out on that exact point.
There's a grandmother raising a baby. There's a car all trashed. And there's lots of You know,
Dr. Phil is just baffled by how messy these people are, both literally and figuratively. I know they are young adults and they still have a lot to figure out. You know, they might not be equipped with all the best life skills so far, but you still got to meet a certain minimum of living as an adult, dude. Like, at least give 10% effort, you know what I mean? I feel like these parents are each given like 5%. I'm just as lost on these two as Dr. Phil is at this point, though.
Everyone has their own life, has been through their own things.
Yeah,
Everyone's their own. Yeah, you can. Yeah. You want.
What is going on right now, dude? This guy is like going on a massive tangent about how Dr. Phil should live in his shoes for a day and try things from his perspective, and Dr. Phil is obviously having none of it. What a stupid argument too, dude. You know, Dr. Phil wasn't rich and famous all his life either. That man has had hardships and has come further in his life than most people will. You know, he's had tough times before, so you really can't pull that card on him simply to get out of this issue of you being a bad parent, which is why you're on the show right now, if you forgot.
keep hearing what you say, but then I watch what you do, and what you do is immature and irresponsible.
You know, this really is one of those actions speak louder than words situations, I think. These two talk like they are really trying their hardest and still doing the most for this kid despite their crazy schedules of working full time, but that simply isn't true. The mom of this guy is having to watch her grandson almost 24/7 according to her, and she believes that if she wasn't there to do it, you two would neglect him so much that he is to get taken away from you and put into protective care by the government. You know, that's your own mom that thinks that of you, so that's literally how much of a loser you have been acting like in the past year of this kid's life, that she really thinks that lowly of you. Like, think of that, all right? How could you still be this ignorant of this entire situation, my guy?
I'll drop out of school, and how about that? So, and I'll watch him full time, which is fine with me.
Please.
Yeah, so.
How about that, Dr. Phil? See that, boys? We got a new meme in the process in this video. Even Dr. Phil is hanging his head at this dude because he said the same thing about 10 times so far, and that's literally his one reaction is this same stupid, insecure phrase he keeps bringing up. I guess I'll just quit school and give up on my life. Like, nobody wants you to quit going to school, dude. That's awesome that you work and you're taking night classes. We're not taking that away from you. We just want you to care about your own freaking son for 1 second, and that's literally it.
So guys, real quick, I have a super fast challenge that only takes 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just give it a try, it really works.
And you two bickering back and forth, look, hate is for children.
It's
Hate's
not,
for children.
I don't
That-
You know, that's the other big issue with both of them, is that they're not only both not interested in being involved in this kid's life at all or raising him, they both are absolutely toxic to each other as well, and they can't stop fighting. Like, they simply can't coexist in this kid's life. Instead, they're both just checking out and trying to live their life without him, while also constantly bickering back and forth, barking orders, and saying how bad of a parent each one of them is. It's a pretty vicious cycle at this point.
You're using this woman and you're wearing her out.
Yes, he is. Yes.
You too.
You know, shout out to Dr. Phil for bringing it back to the grandma here. Not only do these two need to do some quick and immediate maturing in order to take care of this kid, but they also need to respect this mother of his for taking care of the kid for so long when they haven't been, and apologize to her for the stress they have induced on her by making her step in even when she didn't want to. No grandparent wants to raise a kid again. Of course, they want to be around for the fun times, but you still need to be a parent to your own kid. I hope they don't hold resentment towards her either for writing into the show, as she probably saw it as a last-ditch effort and was just trying to help her family. And I do think it's going to be good for the family to get some help here.
Yeah, y'all's relationship sucks.
It's over. Yeah, no, it's completely over.
and
but
I love Dr. Phil sometimes, man, especially when he pops off on people like this. This girl is trying to act all holier than thou now all of a sudden and join in on the party that's pooping all over her ex's parade, but she is involved in this terrible relationship as well and is almost as bad as him, if not worse in other ways, when it comes to being an actual parent to this kid, so she's not free from ridicule either.
I'm looking at it purely from the baby's best interest. You need to consider placing this child for adoption.
Wow, and Dr. Phil drops the hammer on these two in the end here. I was wondering what he was going to offer to try to explain to them or, you know, in order to help them, but I honestly think that's a good call here. These two are terrible parents that are very immature and hate each other, and they will never be able to act old enough to really care for this baby, and this poor grandmother will instead be stuck raising him all of his life, and that's really just not fair to place that burden upon her at this age. And what if something happened to her? He would be placed in the system, no doubt, with nobody else there to care about him, and as sad as it may may be, I think Dr. Phil just realizes that for the best chance of this kid having a good life, they should really consider putting him up for adoption. I honestly hope that these people can do what's right for this kid and either start raising him right and getting along, or find someone else that wants to and will take care of him. That's what this ultimately comes down to, and I'm still shocked that Dr. Phil made that recommendation. I mean, I've never heard him say that before to anyone else, so that's how you know the situation was bad. But I do agree with him. I think it would probably be a good idea for them to consider at least. Anyways, that about does it for today's video. Let me know what you thought of this story down in the comments below, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out.